Well, you have a lot of fans, as evidenced by your recent induction into the NBA Hall of Fame. But, we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. I did want to get you on about the Pistons. The best record in the Eastern Conference. They just beat the Bulls last night by 30 without Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, well, we beat them 108-93. Oh. And at one point, they had a 7-point lead in the third quarter. Yeah. We were also down Jalen Duren and Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
Chicago made a little run. We were having a hard time getting traction. When you don't have Cade and you don't have JD, you're kind of running your offense a different way, and guys aren't necessarily used to that. Cade has been a guy who's almost available all the time in recent years.
Right.
So when you don't have Cade, it's a different story. But I'll tell you one thing. This team has amazing depth. Everybody that J.B. Bickerstaff puts in the game can play. How about Danis Jenkins?
Yeah.
He's been remarkable.
I never even heard of the guy until this year.
Well, that's because he was in the G League.
Yeah. George, how about Isaiah Stewart stepping out now, creating a three-point shot now, and scoring a career-high 31 points last night? What an incredible transformation as a basketball player.
Yeah, and there's everybody on this team's a good guy. He's the best.
Okay.
As much as guys don't want to play against him, everybody wants to play with him, and the fans love him because he's gracious to everybody. Couldn't be any nicer. My grandson got a picture with him the other day. He can't stop talking about him. He's a great guy.
Right. And opposing players hate playing against him, George.
Of course they do.
And Paul Reed, I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't know if it's Bickerstaff magic or the way they prep these guys in practice, and everybody's just expected to, next man up mentality. But this team doesn't seem to skip a beat. Going back, they did beat the Knicks by 30. I'm sorry I exaggerated the Bulls game, but they beat the Knicks by 30 without Duren and Tobias Harris.
Exactly. Yeah. Pounded the Knicks.
Yeah.
Pounded the Knicks.
Yeah.
The Knicks aren't the same team without Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were trying to do. You don't make the conference finals and then fire your coach. But James Dolan's a different kind of owner. And when you sign up to work for him, you got to get combat pay.
Well, I'm sure you've heard of a couple of stories from Isaiah about working for Dolan. So.
Yeah, he can be your best friend or the opposite. Yeah. But the bottom line is, if you're going to play against the Pistons, you better pack a lunch. And the Knicks were able to do that in the past because they were a tough-minded team.
Right.
But now they're back to nobody's coaching them to be tough. So the only guys tough on that team are the guys that are tough themselves.
Yeah.
And Josh Hart didn't play in that game. He's one of the toughest guys on their team. But the bottom line, the Pistons were so much better than the Knicks. I think the people in New York were stunned.
Yeah.
Beyond surprised. It's one thing to lose, or even lose by double digits, but not to lose 121-90.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stephen A.
Smith was talking about he's really concerned. He's a huge Knicks fan, and he's absolutely
it looked like Spike left the game before it was over, which you never see.
So, yeah, they know the Pistons are coming, baby.
Yeah, well, Spike Lee came to that game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he left without a smile on his face.
I didn't see him. They stopped going to him on the Peacock broadcast about the middle of the fourth quarter, George. So I don't know if Spike left the building before.
I kept looking to see if he left. He did not leave. He just sat there.
Okay. Well, I mean, and that could be the potential matchup. I guess, the talk on sports radio and everything else is you'd like to see maybe one more shooter to add to this group to make the three-pointer a little bit more of a threat to spread the offense. I mean, Robinson's done a pretty decent job there, but he's missed, I think, by my count, at least 8 games so far this year.
Well,
go ahead.
Let me jump in here and tell you that I think Trajan Langdon was wise to talk about this team at the beginning of the year, saying we just want to add a couple of complementary guys.
Right.
We're going to see what this group can do on its own. And I mean, I know people need to have something to talk about, and but I wouldn't touch this team. They're right now. They're playing as well as anybody in the NBA, including Oklahoma City.
Oh, yeah.
I think Oklahoma City's marginally overrated, but that's just my opinion. I wouldn't touch anything. They have 15 guys you can put in the game and hurt you. You know, back in the bad boy days, and that was a great team, one of the greatest teams ever. If you went past 8 or 9 guys, it was Venice Dembo.
Yeah. Chuck Nevitt.
Yeah.
These
guys can all play.
The one guy I'm interested, Sasser is just coming back and starting to get his legs under him. And, if he gets his shot in order, I agree with you. I don't think they have to make a deal. Unless, what do you think the possibilities are, George, of the Knicks making the deal for Giannis?
Well, I think the Knicks probably need to do something.
Yeah.
Unless they have a transformation of their culture all of a sudden. When Tom Thibodeau was coaching them, they were tough.
Yeah.
And right now, they're not talented enough to get by just on talent. They have to have some toughness, and most teams do, but certainly New York does.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about them. I think they might try to make a deal for him, but I'm hoping the Pistons don't make a deal. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so George, you've pretty much seen every game, been there, called there. Another great job last night. Is there one area at all that you would like to see this Pistons team improve upon?
That's where we are right now. I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay.
They may stub their toes in a week or two, and then do it again in one particular area.
Right.
That would change things. I tell you, talk about Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
He really does have a pure shot.
Yeah, he does.
But beyond that, I think this guy, as a basketball player, has been underrated. He knows exactly what he's doing out there. He helps you. He leads our team in charges taken.
That's impressive.
Here's a pure shooter that started at a Division III school.
Right.
From back east. He looks like he just got out of prep school or a fraternity party, and he knows exactly what he's doing out there. He helps us so much taking charges. He's perfect. He's perfect, frankly, to me, playing with Cade, as long as Cade's playing at that level, because when he gets a shot, his rival is probably going to knock it down, and he can guard you. He'll go to the basket, and so there are guys on that team that have all kinds of different skills. I'm amazed that because I've been doing this for 50 years, as you know.
Yep.
There's a team that you can put everybody in the game anytime you need them. Some of the guys on NBA radio say, well, in the playoffs, you only play 7 or 8 guys. Well, that may not be the case with the Pistons.
Hey, the Thunder didn't last year.
Right.
The Thunder go 10 deep. Easy.
Yeah, so whatever people think happens in the playoffs, as far as I'm concerned, whatever JB and his staff want to do is what we should do, because he's proven that he can flat out coach.
It's good to see Cade getting the calls and the respect now. Last year, you've got a right there on the court witness of that. It looks like last year he got beat up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Didn't get the calls that he deserved. That looks like that's changed, George.
And to a degree, he has started to really stand up for himself without being obnoxious about it. But if they call a foul on him on one end, he'll quietly say to the official, hey, I fouled him, but what about what they just did to me on the other end? And so he's not taking any wooden nickels from these guys.
Yeah, it's very unlike what a Luka Doncic does, where every single time down the court he feels he gets fouled, and he's very demonstrative in his
He
acting.
just got fouled now.
Yeah, he did.
Just
He's still complaining.
Well, the problem with Luka is if you concentrate on that, you forget about what you're supposed to do on the other end.
That's exactly right.
And he's not a very good defender to begin with.
That's right.
But so if he concentrates, he's okay. But if he doesn't, it's a sieve.
Well, yeah, the Lakers. I don't want to talk about the Lakers.
Yeah, I know.
But I do want to talk, George, about your induction into the NBA Hall of Fame. A well-deserved honor. Just tell us and our listeners a little bit about what that experience was like.
Well, I think the first thing you have happen is, if you're close with some guys who got into the Hall, and not everybody who's a great player gets in. And for instance, Bill Laimbeer should be in, and someday he will be. But
really,
Joe Dumars told me that, if John DeLeva's on the other end of the phone, that means you're going into the Hall of Fame. That's the phone call.
Right.
So last winter, we were in Chicago playing back-to-back games, rarity in the schedule, against the Bulls. So we had played, let's say, on a Tuesday night, and we were going to play again on Wednesday night in Chicago. So I'm in my room looking over things. I really don't have too much to do. There's not many updates you have to do after one
right.
the night before.
Mm-hmm.
And my phone rings, and I saw Springfield, Massachusetts. Sometimes your phone rings, you don't answer if you don't know who it is.
Right.
And I saw Springfield, Massachusetts. I know a guy who does stats for me that's in that area. And so all of a sudden I hear, "Hello, this is John DeLeva." I said, "Oh my God, I'm getting the call." And what a good guy. And he said, "Hey, we're excited to tell you that we're giving you this award, the Kurt Gowdy Award for Media Excellence.
Wow.
And you'll be at the Hall of Fame in early September. We'll fly your family out there and let you really enjoy it." And so we had a nice, respectable, fun conversation for 5 or 10 minutes. Then I hung up the phone and said, "Man, did this just happen?" My feeling was, I've been lucky enough to get this job and keep it for this long, and I've enjoyed it to the max. If I get in the Hall of Fame, fine. If I don't, I understand. It's no big deal. But when I did get the phone call, I realized, yeah, it was a big deal, and it's nice at that point to be recognized. Some people said, "Oh, they should have done this years ago." Well, the bottom line is they did it right before my 50th year. Could they do it at any better time?
Right.
No.
And the people there couldn't have been nicer. They were very accommodating. I probably had 10 people there with family and friends, and
yeah.
The Pistons were kind enough to do a party that night, and Isaiah Thomas and Tayshaun were there. The ladies in charge of business for the Pistons, you name it, and a couple of my buddies that you see at the canoe race were there. So,
Good.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, George, when you get, I'm never going into anybody's Hall of Fame, but when Kevin Smith went into the Brother Rice Hall of Fame, the people around you that have been with you for a long time, it's almost like they're part of that award. I'm sure
You're darn right.
I'm sure Greg Kelser was as proud as you were to have, for that to have happened.
Well, when I got the call, they told me, "We would appreciate it if you would keep this under your hat for about 10 days until we make the announcement."
Oh boy!
We want to give you as much time.
That's hard.
So you got to tell your family and friends. And I got to the game and I said, "Greg, I know you can keep this." I was not going to not tell Greg.
Right.
Because first of all, he's been such a pleasure to work with, and he's. When you work with somebody as talented as he is and as insightful as he is, it's going to make you better. In some cases, much better. So part of this is for Special K, so I had to tell him. And he was very happy for me, but he did keep it to himself. God bless him.
Well, it's just, like I said, so well-deserved. And just knowing you a little bit, when I first saw the announcement, I texted you, thank you for texting me back. I'm sure you must have had 1,000 texts. Just
I did have a few.
Yeah, I have no doubt. I told Rich that I texted Georgia just to see if I would get a text back, and then a couple hours later you did. I'm like, wow, well, that means a lot to me. So
you guys have been great to me, and I haven't grown up in radio, and been friends with guys in sales and operations and engineering. I kind of have a feel for what somebody has to do to run a first-class radio station, and so I'm proud of you guys. You know exactly what you're doing, and you go to work and do it. You can say, well, we've got this problem or that problem. Well, at the end of the day, you got to fix that problem and move on, and you guys have done a great job at that.
I got to ask you a quick question, George. Are you doing Michigan State football next year?
I think so.
Okay.
It'll be my 50th year with Michigan State. It's funny because I started Michigan State, 5 years before I started the Pistons. But because of the fact that I had, in the beginning, we had 2 or 3 stations, maybe 4, that originated Michigan State.
Uh-huh.
And then they went to as most people have, probably everybody, a network.
Right.
And there's only one guy doing the games, and I couldn't miss a Piston game at that time to do Michigan State football. Heck, we were simulcasting Piston games.
Right.
So I was on both radio and TV, so I had to miss some seasons with Michigan State. But it's kind of fun as it turns out, because now I can celebrate my 50th year with them after I celebrate my 50th year with the Pistons.
Well, you got a new head coach, and it's good, I wasn't sure if that relationship was going to continue. I know you're closer to the end of your career than the beginning, that's for sure.
Well, I think Pat Fitzgerald, I don't even know if Jonathan Smith would have been let go if Pat Fitzgerald hadn't been available. I think the athletic director was kind of in between on him. He came from a different part of the country.
Yeah.
Right.
And normally you'd give him at least one more year, but all of a sudden Fitzgerald's available. And the guy did a remarkable job at Northwestern.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a heck of a player himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
no doubt.
Jared, when you talk about basketball, you played, and you played at a high level, so that makes a difference. And he was a National Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
At a school like Northwestern.
Right.
How's that possible? Well, that's because he's great at football, and he's a solid guy. So we're lucky to have him.
Yeah. Well, it's going to take him a little bit. I mean, they're going to have to bring like 60 guys into the program
a lot
this
of
year.
them hit
Holy
the portal,
cow.
but the nice thing is you can get a lot of guys back now all of a sudden, with that transfer portal, George. It's a different world.
It is. It's not the way I would have drawn it up, but if you get to the end zone, I guess it still works.
Yeah.
But the transfer portal and the outrageous NIL makes it a different game, that's for sure.
Oh, it's a zoo. George, here's to hoping you get another championship ring. I know you got a couple of them since you've been with the Pistons so long. So this is a team that I could easily see at least in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, people say, well, maybe there'll be another team like the Bad Boys that are going to work, guys. I'm thinking the chances of that happening
are slim
in somebody's career that many times. But Cade Cunningham was a perfect guy to come along. His dad played football at Texas Tech. He's a solid family. His mom and dad are at a lot of our games. And you know that he's going to give you all he can to make the team a winning team. And he's not just all about Cade Cunningham, and that's been a big help.
We're going real long, but I got to ask you one quick question. What the hell has Jaden Ivey done to his body? My goodness, he looks like a linebacker now.
Well, his dad was a great player at
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, and his grandfather was an all-time great at Grambling.
Yep.
So football is in his bloodlines, and he's kind of looking more like he could go play football right now.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. If he gets his shot going and Sasser gets his shot going, this is going to be a great basketball team.
I think you're right, and it's good to discuss it now. Then we can always say, I told you so.
George Blaha, Hall of Famer George Blaha, the TV voice of the Pistons, and, of course, Michigan State football. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us here on Up North Sports Radio's Friday Faceoff. And we'll see it. We'll get hopefully get you on the horn before the season ends and maybe talk about an NBA championship.
Jerry and Rich, it'd be fun to be on with you. And by the way, I got 2 or 3 more games that I'll be back on the radio on, so I'm looking forward to being on Up North Sports Radio.
Give me that text, and we'll make sure we make that people know about that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
Thank you, George.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. We will be back into these words from our fine partners on
right
Up North
here.
Sports Radio's Friday Face-Off, brought to us by TVCAirport.com.
Yeah. That was great, Rich.
It was. The great George Blaha, just willing to spend 25 minutes with us. Just incredible.
Well, to follow up the great George Blaha, we have the great Kevin Klein in Destination NHL. There you go, Kev.
Hey, glad to be here. Following George. Wow, that's awesome.
Wow. What's awesome is how well the Wings have been playing lately.
You have it. I saw them back in December when they played the Capitals and they had that overtime win.
Yep.
And they look pretty good. I'm very happy with their play. Hustle. It's such a different team this year. And then last night, 5-1. 500th goal by Kane.
Kaner,
wow,
yeah.
They're exciting now.
So it's got to be exciting to get on the road, get on an airplane out of TVC and follow the Red Wings. What have you got on the docket for us?
Well, I'm going to jump right out to the Boston coming up next week. It's 377 for United, and so that's pretty good. Remember, we talked about that before the holiday at being 289.
Yep.
So that jumped up a little bit, being a little closer in, but still only 377, less than a week away. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And as you head towards later in the month, of course, we got again a little bit of the Canadian run. Toronto 851.
Jeez.
We get the Winnipeg at 1,000. We always know those Canadian trips are high.
Right.
But what the hot news is going to see the Avalanche. And 284. So that is awesome. And for that rivalry, I'm in. You got me in on that one.
What's the date of that game? You've got the schedule in front of you.
That's the 2nd. That's February 2nd against the Avalanche.
Cheryl and I might be out there by then, so we'll have to figure that one out. Okay.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. So Utah 548, Ottawa. This is the curveball that I'm saying comes with the fares, because this is a Canadian one with Ottawa 385.
Yeah, that's cheap. Yeah.
So Carolina, February 28th, 391. The Devils on March 8th, 229.
Okay.
So we've got some hot fares coming up, but most importantly, everybody's probably looking outside their window looking at how gray and doomy and gloomy. Hey, get on board today, fly to Punta Gorda, come back next Friday, 310 round trip.
There you go. All those hot. You got to go to tvcairport.com. You'll get the links for those flights, especially the great rates that they have in those off-brand airports down in Florida.
You got it. You want to get there nonstop? We've got it. Ultra low-cost carriers. Just join us at tvcairport.com.
Kevin Klein, thanks so much, bro. We'll talk to you next week.
Have a great weekend.
All right. We've got some messages from our very fine partners here on Up North Sports Radio, and we will be back with more Friday Face-Off.
The snow is flying and the chill is in the air. Find a new winter hobby that'll have you breathing in all that fresh air in Bel Air. Super Sundays at Shush Mountain are the day for slope junkies. Not only do you get a lift ticket and rental equipment, but you can also take advantage of a large group lesson with stations covering the core basics of skiing and snowboarding. for just $60. It's the ultimate package. Come join in on all the fun on Shush Mountain at Shanty Creek Resort. ShantyCreek.com. Think you know football? Go head-to-head for prizes with the Traverse City Record Eagles' own pro senior sports writer, James Cook. Pick your winners for every Sunday NFL matchup at record-eagle.com. If you beat James, you'll be entered to win a weekly prize from our Record Eagle sponsors. Make your picks each week, plus get contest rules and details at record-eagle.com/NFL Pick'em. Can you show up one of Northern Michigan's most trusted sports voices? James Cook's NFL Sunday Pick'em at record-eagle.com.
Hi folks, Jim Jeffers for Michigan Trailers in Traverse City, Northern Michigan's value leader in utility trailer sales. It's never too early to gear up for spring, and it's not too late to get some funds off the books before tax season. With over 300 utility trailers available from America's top manufacturers, we can help you tackle either task with a great selection and incredible values in stock to solve all your hauling needs. See us today on US 31 South across from Menards, Traverse City, or visit us online at michigantrailers.com.
The Kalkaska Kings bring professional hockey to your own backyard. All the hockey excitement, skating, the goals, and the hits for a fraction of the price of the NHL at the nearby Kalkaska Coliseum. Just $10 or $5 for seniors and students. The Kalkaska Kings are leading the league, so cheer them on this winter at the cozy Coliseum. Check out the Kalkaska Kings on Facebook for the schedule, scores, and stats. See you rinkside at the Coliseum for Kalkaska Kings action.
This is your Camp Grayling Range Report. Each week, Camp Grayling reports the range's training land and road closures to keep communities safe and informed. All gates and trails will be open. However, 40 Complex air-to-ground range and waters will have occasional A-10 gunnery and bombing. In the new year, Camp Grayling isn't just making resolutions, they're making preparations. 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most demanding training cycles yet. The calendar's filling with large-scale exercises and joint operations with increased activity on ranges and airspace, as well as increased business for our local economy. While the tempo of training remains high, their primary goal remains the same: ensuring our service members are the best prepared in the world. None of this would be possible without the continued patience and unwavering support of the local community. Camp Grayling recognizes the mission is loud and visible and is deeply grateful for the neighbors who stand by them as they facilitate these critical events. This year, they're resolving to strengthen their partnership and remain a proud, integrated part of Northern Michigan. Here's to a productive, safe, and busy year on the ranges.
Welcome back to Friday Faceoff here on Up North Sports Radio. Rich Calkins, Jerry Coyne, live in studio, of course, brought to us by TVCAirport.com. Kevin Klein mentioned the Wings kicking a little butt last night against Vancouver, 5-2. And Kane gets his 500th goal, an empty netter.
Yeah. That's what was the fifth North American-born player to get to 500
goals.
Yeah, that's When you start,
I don't think he's going to catch Ovechkin.
No, I think that's safe. But I mean, overall, I mean that's when you're in the top five in anything in a professional sport, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's remarkable that he had a really that those knee graft surgeries that haven't really helped. Or what was it? The hip.
The hip. I think it was the hip. Yeah.
Yeah. That the other players that had it so far, it really didn't help them.
Yeah.
But Kane skated through it, and he's been a valuable addition.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, those. Some of those surgery are still in the kind of early stages of trying to get to prolong some of the careers of these athletes. And. Their orthopedic surgeons are trying all kinds of things to try to better their practice, obviously, because it's there's so much money involved in competitiveness that they want to play for longer.
Yeah, as long as they can play without pain. Mm-hmm. And so the Wings are now tied for the lead with Montreal in the Eastern Conference, and that's who's playing each other on Saturday.
Love it. Yeah, tied at 56 points there in the Atlantic Division. They're so cool that, again, there were times early on with this Red Wing team, started real good, then went through a slump, and then you're like, what do we got the yo-yo thing. They've kind of calmed the water steadily, and they just continue to play overall good hockey.
Seider and Soderblom have turned into a very good defensive pairing. Yes. That's kind of stabilized things quite a bit. And then Gibson, who started out super shaky, when they first made the trade for him. He's going to solve all the goalie woes. And he was a sieve
Right.
the first 5 or 6 games that he played. He's been really good lately. So you've got a big Original Six game happening on Saturday at 7 o'clock. You can listen to it right here on Up North Sports Radio. Because the Blaha interview went so long, we're going to jump into another ad break. We'll be back with more sports talk here on Up North Sports Radio's Friday Face-Off, brought to us by TVCAirport.com.
It's time for the Up North Sports Radio Northern Michigan Trail Report, brought to you by your Michigan Toro authorized dealer, Outdoor Equipment Co. in Houghton Lake, Lansing, and Detroit. OutdoorEquipCO.com. Toro, count on it.
I'm Melissa Sullivan, outdoor enthusiast and your host. I need to get real with you about ice safety. I've been there, thinking the ice was solid without actually checking it myself. I rolled a razor and the ice gave way instantly. I was trapped in my harness, struggling to get free, and water rushing in. I was pulled out just as the machine disappeared into the water. It almost cost me everything. I've already seen sleds and ORVs breaking through the lakes across northern Michigan. Don't trust old tracks and don't trust luck. A snowmobile might float over a weak spot that an ORV will punch right through. Ice thickness changes by the foot, especially near springs, currents, and with this crazy weather we've been having. If you haven't put a spud or an auger to it yourself, you have no business being out there. Remember, no ice is safe. You should always ride with a buddy, and if you're slightly unsure, stay on the land trails. No shortcut or thrill on ice is worth a recovery mission or worse. Stay smart, stay dry, and don't leave your trash. Leave a good impression. And visit upnorthsportsradio.com to keep up with Michigan trails.
This has been your Up North Sports Radio Northern Michigan Trail Report, brought to you by your Michigan Toro authorized dealer, Outdoor Equipment Co. in Houghton Lake, Lansing, and Detroit. OutdoorEquipCO.com. Toro, count on it. Clearing the snow is not a problem with the Toro Power Clear 721 Series snowblower. Easy push-button start, power to blast through snow and throw it 35 feet. You'll get the job done faster with Toro's Power Propel. It shreds through snow and reduces clogging with curved pedals and funneled housing. Head to your local Toro authorized dealer, Outdoor Equipment Co. in Houghton Lake, Lansing, and Detroit, or visit OutdoorEquipCo.com. Toro, count on it.
When your vehicle needs body work, don't you wish you had someone in the family to repair it? That would be great, but most people don't. So why not choose a company that treats you like family? Choose Jim's Collision in Roscommon. Collision repairs can be stressful. Add in insurance details and it can be downright confusing. Jim's Collision makes it easy with excellent repairs, competitive prices, and they'll work with your insurance company. Choosing Jim's is easy because they've got family too. ChooseJims.com.
The Côte d'Amarie Ski Race is Saturday, January 17th. Don't miss your chance to be part of Northern Michigan's premier Nordic skiing adventure through the scenic hardwood trails of Hanson Hills Recreation Area in Grayling. Men's and women's points awarded for the Michigan Cup. There's even a 7.5K skate or classic course if you're new to skiing. Ski for fun, compete for prizes, and enjoy great food specials after the race. Custom gifts to the first 250 entrants. Sign up now at hansonhills.org. hansonhills.org.
Welcome back to Friday Face-Off here on Up North Sports Radio, 101.1 WGRY, brought to us by TVCAirport.com. Jerry Coyne, Rich Calkins in studio. Rich, Lindsay, too busy getting squeegeeing a little bit of the slopes open. Actually, the conditions at Shanty Creek are fantastic. She wanted me to remind you of the Super Sundays that you can take advantage of an incredible deal at Shanty Creek. For just $60, you get a lift ticket, rental equipment, and a beginner group lesson. They take place from noon to 4:30 at the Cedar River Village, and the group lesson begins at 12. So get there by 11:30 to register. If you're new to skiing, you can rent the equipment, get a lift pass, get a quick lesson, and then join your friends and family and ski the rest of the day.
Yeah, they'll take care of you, like you said, get you fitted for that equipment, and so they take care of everything for you.
Yep.
You just have to provide the energy, and they'll take care of everything
And if you
else.
want the energy, get there earlier for the Rich Calkins Memorial Breakfast Buffet.
For sure.
Where I think, Rich, what is your sausage record right now?
Oh, yeah,
I think it was I thought it was 42.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to graduate up to 56.
Okay.
I'm going to set that bar high.
42 links and 22 patties. We got it when you combine them.
Right.
It's pretty good stuff. We saw a great football game last night. Mississippi, you cannot say enough about how those kids performed with 3 coaches.
Yes, just amazing. You know, I caught the fourth quarter when I got back from the basketball game last night, and just an incredible. And obviously, I think for the best quarter, obviously, it was highly entertaining up and down the field, and I'm really impressed by that Trinidad Chambliss. You know, undersized quarterback from Ferris State.
Well, I don't think he's that. You know,
he's
6'1", 210.
Well, that's what they're listing today. They were talking if he goes to the combine, when he does. I think they said he's going to measure in under 6 foot.
Okay, but he's not going to be 5'9".
But
he's not Kyler Murray.
Right? No, he's not
I
that
think he's
little.
bigger than Kyler and Bryce Young.
And he's got some bulk to him. He's not a skinny, 6 foot kid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he could play in the league.
And he throws a good ball.
He's a great ball.
Super mobile.
Yeah.
I like.
Throws well on the run.
Yes.
Which you have to at that size.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, unless you're Jared Goff, you got to throw on the run.
Right. There's not a lot of the statuesque players playing quarterback anymore.
It will be interesting to see if the NCAA, whatever that organization is,
right.
anyways, grants him another year. It's just, I hate talking about the portal and all the crap,
right.
But it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
You saw this whole thing about the Washington kid.
Oh.
He got some sense and went back to Washington.
Right.
So, because there was lawsuits coming.
There were, absolutely. It was going to be a trend-setting deal, and as far as if he did end up going after signing the deal with Washington, and now he's just got work to do with his teammates in the locker room.
Yeah, well, they'll have plenty of time to figure that part out.
They will, yes.
You got a big game tonight. Oregon, India. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to expect in this football game. Mm-hmm. Indiana looks almost flawless.
I know.
They don't make mistakes.
They don't.
They've only turned the ball over 6 times all year.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
When you think about how long a season is, how many games you play, to only turn it over 6 times, that's amazing.
And they're the least penalized team in the FBS.
Yeah,
I mean there's not a 5-star on the team,
which is amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner and the presumed number 1 pick next year in the draft, was a 1-star recruit coming out of high school.
Yeah.
So, guys, keep hope alive, because if you have this drive and this ability to work hard, you can become somebody, man.
Well, I mean,
it helps. He's 6'5" and is. He's got some mobility. He's not super athletic, but he's mobile enough.
Yeah, I guess the thing that you look for in this game tonight is how difficult it is to beat a football team twice. Everybody thought that Georgia was going to run all over Ole Miss in the second game. They obviously they didn't. They lost.
Right.
Alabama was able to beat Oklahoma twice.
Mm-hmm.
So it just you don't know what you're going to get. Oregon is loaded with 4 and 5 stars.
Yes, they are.
Dante Moore from Michigan.
Michigan, right.
Kind of bounced around a little bit. He's been really good, although he did not play well against Oregon or against Indiana at Oregon.
Yeah, on his home field there. Yeah, that was shocking. But again, he's got a chance to redeem himself tonight. But,
a lot of people talking about, if he outplays Mendoza, will he be the first pick in the draft? Will he even go into the draft?
Right. He's so young. He's only 20 yet, I think.
But he's eligible to go. Or he could stay in college for another 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, the money they're getting paid now, and it's not a...
I mean, Bryce, I guess, is getting $12 million. I didn't know what the number was.
Is that right?
But So that would be that's not what Dante Bryce is the highest paid guy this past year and renewed that contract. Like people are going like, do you think Bryce Underwood is coming back? Yeah.
Yeah, he would be silly not to.
Yeah, I mean, is LSU, Michigan trumped that LSU offer according to the reports now, and I wasn't. He was offered $5 million from LSU.
Okay.
Michigan hit him with $12
million.
Oh, gee, I'd rather stay in my home state and play football. Now, it'll be interesting to see how quickly Whittingham and the Beck guy can turn him around, but he's the perfect quarterback to run their offensive system.
He is, right. Yeah, that's for sure. And getting back to the Indiana thing, where money's, Mark Cuban Missile Crisis there has put in a ton of money, and I hear that they're doubling whatever the kids are that they really want. If they come in and say we were offered this, they're almost doing the double thing.
Well, Michigan hasn't really gotten too many players in the portal. They kept a lot of guys.
They did.
Only a few people, a couple of really good players.
Sullivan, the linebacker, I was really surprised that
he already signed. He signed at Oklahoma.
Yes.
A couple of the guys are left in the portal. They have a good chance of coming back. I don't know, what's going to happen with Justice Hayes.
Right.
They do have some offensive weapons. So, I mean, the dust hasn't settled. You've got till the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens after these games, where the kids are going to go.
Right.
The national championship game is the 12th, and then the portal closes 3 days later. And there's not a second portal this year.
Okay, good.
Like last year when kids were leaving after spring track.
Right. Yeah, we'll go through all the spring practice there, and they would decide to leave after that.
Yeah, well, like I told you, I think I don't think I told this on air. Because I didn't get the whole story on this. My friend Jim Brown, who I used to coach with, and we coached his son together, Ryan Brown, who quarterbacked at Purdue.
Right.
Okay. So, and he had a pretty good year. I don't know if he's going to enter the portal or not. In fact, I should text Jimmy because I think he can play in the league. Long story short, when the portal opened last year, he went to North Carolina.
Okay.
And played spring ball at North Carolina for $50,000.
Is that right?
They paid him $50,000. At the end they didn't like what they saw. They brought in another kid from TCU, and Ryan hit the portal and went back to Purdue. So he played spring ball at North Carolina for $50,000.
Wow.
That is 100%. And
with Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. So they got $50,000 for spring ball.
Yeah.
Pretty good gig.
Spring ball's what, 12 days?
Yeah.
13 days?
Usually, yeah. That's pretty good. Pretty good gig.
And Jimmy was saying that I think that's what he made his best year in the NFL.
Is that right?
Yeah, he played for the Dolphins. He was a special teamer.
Right.
Played for the Dolphins for 3 years, the Giants for 1 year, and the Lions for
that's just crazy.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
But, I hope we get a good football game.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I do too, and I think we will. I think overall Indiana will win it. They play consummate team football.
Oregon has got a pretty decent offense and pretty decent defense. What they did to Alabama, I don't know how shocking it was to me. I think Alabama had a lot of flaws.
They did.
They couldn't run the football at all.
Which is,
and when you have a better than average, that was surprising that Oklahoma couldn't bottle them up completely because Oklahoma has a pretty good defense.
Right.
But we will see what. Hopefully, we get a great competitive game because the Alabama game, you just stop watching. The Alabama-Indiana game,
right?
You just stopped watching.
Right. It was no longer competitive at all. They couldn't get in the end zone. They scored, 3 points, I guess? Yeah. Is that what it was? One field goal.
They kicked that field goal with 8 minutes left to go in the game.
Yeah, just to get on the board.
Yeah, we don't want to get shut out in a bowl game. Way to get competitive.
Right.
And then Indiana's turned around and scored another touchdown. But that's happening tonight. We will be back after these words from our fine partners on Up North Sports Radio's Friday Faceoff, brought to us by TVCAirport.com.
The snow is flying and the chill is in the air. Find a new winter hobby that'll have you breathing in all that fresh air in Bel Air. Super Sundays at Shush Mountain are the day for slope junkies. Not only do you get a lift ticket and rental equipment, but you can also take advantage of a large group lesson with stations covering the core basics of skiing and snowboarding for just $60. It's the ultimate package. Come join in on all the fun on Shush Mountain at Shanty Creek Resort, shantycreek.com.
Are you ready to take your guitar skills to the next level? Join the Improvisation Nation Workshop with renowned guitarist J. Bo Billman, known for his work with Grinder Blues and the Billman Grove. It's happening Saturday, January 17th from 5 to 7 at Traverse City Guitar Company. For just $59.99, you'll learn pro-level techniques to elevate your playing. Spots are limited, so sign up today at jbobillman.com under the Store tab. Don't miss this chance to master the art of guitar improvisation. Sign up at jbobillman.com or find a link at q100michigan.com.
It might be cold outside, but Victories is heating up at Odawa Casino. Grab a drink and party with our DJs every Friday and Saturday. DJ Big Ton brings energy to the dance floor with remixes and rhythmic blends. Join DJ T-Bone for electrifying mixes to keep the party going. And catch infectious beats and feel-good tracks from DJ Hotkeys. Visit OdawaCasino.com for a full lineup. Doors are at 8 p.m. The show starts at 9. Only at Odawa Casino.
Think you know football? Go head-to-head for prizes with the Traverse City Record Eagles' own pro, senior sports writer James Cook. Pick your winners for every Sunday NFL matchup at record-eagle.com. If you beat James, you'll be entered to win a weekly prize from our Record Eagle sponsors. Make your picks each week, plus get contest rules and details at record-eagle.com/NFL Pick'em. Can you show up one of Northern Michigan's most trusted sports voices? James Cook's NFL Sunday Pick'em at record-eagle.com.
Tune in to Red Wings Hockey on Up North Sports Radio.
Brought to you in part by Roscommon Auto Recyclers on East Federal Highway. RoscommonAutoRecyclers.com.
Red Wings Hockey on 101.1 WGRY, Up North Sports Radio.
Welcome back to Friday Faceoff here on Up North Sports Radio. Rich, a couple things going on right now. We have a new our friends at Outdoor Equipment Co. Have a line of tractors, bad boy tractors and mowers.
Bad boy.
And so we're putting together a bad boy player of the week.
Love it.
And on top of that, we've now partnered with our good friends at the Coliseum in Kalkaska. They have professional hockey out there, the Kalkaska Kings.
I love it.
Yeah. So the Kalkaska Kings are our bad boys of the week. You know, you'd have professional hockey right in our own backyard.
Yeah, no question about it. That's hockey is just so popular up here in the North regions that you can heck, it's just that's a 20-minute road trip from here.
From Grayling,
yes.
It's 10 minutes from me in Fife Lake. 20 minutes
conveniently
from
located.
Traverse City.
Yeah.
At $10 are tickets for adults, $5 for seniors or teenagers.
No longer have to travel down to Saginaw to watch the Gears or anything like that. You can watch professional hockey at the Coliseum.
And they've got a game on Sunday at the Coliseum versus the Alpena 45ers. By the way, the Kalkaska Kings are leading the league.
Are they
have the
really?
best record in the league.
Nice.
And one thing they wanted me to point out really quickly is that if you have a kid in the Kalkaska Area Hockey Association, just have him wear his jersey in, and he gets in. They get in for free this Sunday.
What a deal!
But the bad boy mowers and trailers and tractors that you can get at Outdoor Equipment Co. here in Houghton Lake, they are fantastic equipment. As they like to say, power, performance, and attitude.
Nice.
When you get a bad boy.
When you got that bad boy name, you got to come with some attitude.
I don't know if we'll get it in alignment with the Pistons sooner or later, but that's a possibility. The Lions are a little bit in flux far as the coaching staff. You had Holmes. I don't know if you listened to the
I did, yes.
Conference.
Yep, and I liked some of the stuff he said. Talking about initially, owning everything, and then he got into some specifics. I think getting Johnny Morton out of there, that was an obvious move that was going to be made.
Yeah, John Morton had to go. But I talked to you about Mike
McDaniel, yeah.
McDaniel a couple weeks ago because I thought he was going to get fired. Then it didn't look like he did, but if he doesn't get a head coaching job, he's the ideal guy to join the Lions as the OC. Joining us as our offensive coordinator, Gordon Miller on the line. Gordo, how are you?
Hey, guys. How's everybody doing?
Hey, we're doing good, buddy.
Well, we were doing good until we picked up the phone and found you here.
Well, but no, you saw what I texted you last night. It's, Ian Rappaport reporting. They reached out immediately.
Yeah.
That would be the dream. He's the original Ben Johnson.
No, there's no doubt about it. He comes from that Shanahan tree. He was the running coordinator.
Yes.
That's the thing that was missing from the Lions this year, don't you think, Gordo?
Well, I just remember the 70 that he put up in Denver, and I'm all in on this one. So if we need to take up a collection, let's do it. But it's got to happen.
Yeah, that's it. No, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It's that run game creativity that comes from that Shanahan lineage that is so important to what the Lions want to do.
Yeah, and they did it in Miami.
Yeah.
With a, far inferior offensive line than the Lions had a couple years ago. Now, maybe it looked more like the O-line this year.
Right. Yeah, it really, to me, it seems like he was able to make up for a maybe not so great offensive line by being creative with that run game.
100%. And plus, the weapons that he had in Miami are pretty similar to what the Lions have. You got J-Mo, who's a lot like... the
former
Tyreek.
Tyreek,
right?
Hill, yeah.
So we'll see. He
and
could still.
Jalen Waddle, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if he's going to be up for any of these other head coaching vacancies. Obviously, if somebody comes calling for that,
right?
Unless you do like Ben Johnson did. Now, maybe Johnson didn't do the right thing by turning down Carolina.
Right.
Because they've turned out to be pretty good anyways. But he did get the best job in this cycle, and Harbaugh and Stefanski are going to get the two best jobs, I would figure.
Yeah.
That was the basic speech around NFL yesterday was the fact that, when you've had a history where these offensive coordinators that have become head coaches, when they got fired, instead of going back and rebuilding their resume, Adam Gase takes the Jets job.
Right.
Now he's done. But why if those top jobs are obviously I think we know Harbaugh is going to end up in Miami, but for him to go back, reestablish value with Detroit and show that it isn't just Ben Johnson who's the genius.
Yeah.
He reestablishes himself back to where he was when he first went to Miami. I think he'll go OC somewhere. The other talk is his close relationship with Dan Quinn.
Right.
And Washington, who let Kingsbury go, but
they did.
That's where I said, if you get him in the building, you don't let him out of the building. I don't care what it takes.
Yeah. I like how aggressive they were right away. As soon as he was released, it was reported by Ian Rappaport, like you said, Gordo, that the Lions have reached out to him immediately.
Gordo, I know you're.
Yeah, and this would settle it would settle everything down. It would settle the offense down. It would not be a concern next year. They could focus on the O-line and adding pieces there. They've got a high draft pick, better than they've had in a while.
Yeah.
I think they'd be right back as a top seed again next year with McDaniel as my OC. Not David Blau.
No.
McDaniel, sure.
Yeah, I don't know where David Blau's name even came from.
I know, exactly.
I mean, like...
From his representative.
I don't know. What was this his past year? Was his first year in coaching?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah.
As what? It's an offensive assistant at Washington?
Yeah, we don't need to train him to be an OC. We want an established OC.
I mean, I know Stefanski's going to go...
We already...
Go ahead.
Right. Stefanski would also be a great hire. With the Lions, to the point you mentioned, Rich, we just trained the first-year DC.
Yeah.
So, to think that they would go with two inexperienced coordinators, no, that wouldn't even make any sense.
No.
There's a lot of talk that Flores would be, will be rehired as a head coach. If he isn't, you got to take a look at him, bringing him in as DC.
Oh, I would, for sure.
The best thing about coordinators is you can pay them whatever the hell you want.
Right.
Yeah. The Gordo.
The Fords
canned.
Ben Johnson was probably paid more with Detroit the last year than the Dolphins made McDaniel.
That's a good point. Yeah. Gordo, are you a little nervous about the fact that we haven't really seen any big names come into U of M in the portal so far?
You know, I keep reading and waiting and listening, and I'm missing the news. It hasn't reached North Carolina. According to what I've got, have they brought in anybody?
Well, they brought in a kicker and a long snapper.
Oh, okay.
And they retained
that's
some of
good
their
because,
people.
You know, I was worried about the kicking position.
Yeah.
The thing that's crazy down here, you know, now that I'm back in North Carolina for the winter, is every day I'm hearing, you know, oh, NC State gets this cornerback from Georgia, gets this guy from Texas, and I'm waiting. And it's always these others. Boston College gets some top transfers. I'm kind of lost here a little bit, but you know, I guess the good thing is, you know, Indiana can't really attack the portal right now either. So
well, they did already. They took Josh Burnham.
Yeah, from Notre Dame.
From Notre Dame.
And TC Central.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's worrisome. You know, Whittingham's a great coach. I wish they could have, you know, pulled off the John Harbaugh move, because I just thought that was going to be so funny for the NCAA to deal with.
John Harbaugh to Michigan. Oh God.
It was natural. He's familiar with the program. It would have been such great theater.
It would have been great theater. You know, like you said, he's got whatever job he wants.
Yeah.
Whether it's Miami because of the money, or the Giants, which to me is probably the best job.
Mm-hmm.
With all the new young talent they've got.
Yeah.
No, the Raiders.
Then you got the Raiders with Tom Brady involved.
Yeah,
I mean, he's only got 9 options. I think everybody's firing coaches to try to get a new coach.
Well,
right
that
now.
is the talk, right? That the Dolphins fired McDaniel because there's better options. I mean, Stefanski's a better option.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
But they didn't fire McDaniel until Harbaugh became available.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the original report was that who was the other team? It wasn't Miami that called, though. When Harbaugh first got fired,
he had 7 offers and there are only 6 openings.
The talk was that it's Tampa.
Oh, that I did hear that. Yes.
So I mean, Tampa's a pretty damn good job.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if we'll hear that. I don't know how Bowles kept his job anyways. You know, maybe because it's just one bad year, but they did not. Everybody got healthy and the team got worse. That
Yes.
was just so weird.
It was really weird.
The talk out of Tampa is the fact that he kind of lost the locker room, that people weren't listening anymore. So.
Yeah.
You know, you never know when that happens.
Right.
Chuck Daly said it best. Chuck Daly said it best. He's just like, one day you're talking to the team and you can see everybody's eyes are glazed over,
right.
and you know that it's time to go.
It is time to go.
Yeah. But when Chuck Daly coached, he had players like Rashid that their eyes were glazed over, and it had nothing to do with not paying attention.
Well, quite factually, Rasheed Wallace never played for Chuck Daly, but that's okay.
Right.
That was Larry Brown.
I'm just using the analogy of players
Yes.
being dazed and confused, like our audience right now, wondering where the hell am I?
Speaking very quickly about dazed and confused, did you see that Calvin Johnson said that he played high for the Lions?
No, I did not.
At least 5 times.
Oh, Calvin. Oh.
He said he had great games, too. Said he got high in the car
Calvin.
when on his way to the stadium a few times when he didn't think he would be able to get out of the car without some, because he was in so much pain.
Really?
Yeah, that was the way the article. He said it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gordo.
Is that what's going on with Lamar Jackson then? Is he playing high half the games? Because something isn't right with him either.
I'm glad nobody listens to this radio program because we could get sued.
I thought that's already been mentioned in his life.
Well,
that's all right. Don't worry.
There's a lot of players that look kind of high to me, but I don't know what the marijuana rules are in football anymore. Can you be high? I mean, is anybody being?
It's yeah.
They're being tested for drugs,
there are no rules.
Yeah.
Well, but some
there are no rules
states,
anymore.
it's not
So-
legal.
yeah, but some states in the NFL, marijuana is not legal. So
Right.
I don't know. Like, hey, where are we?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Oh my God, we're in
Who
Texas.
are we playing?
Yeah, we're in Texas.
we're-
Can't get high.
No, if you can't. Oh, we're going to Detroit? All right,
Yeah,
let's
we're
go.
good. That's why Denver, Rocky
Right.
Mountain High,
Oh,
baby.
everybody loves right. Everybody loves Detroit and Denver now.
It's going to
that's
stop
right.
at the dispensary.
There you go. Gordo, thanks for joining us from the highway. We'll have you on again next week.
I will try to be parked next week and make this a little bit easier. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Well,
hey.
we just had a longer show because we started off with a big interview with George Blaha.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks, Gordo. Have a good week, bud.
All right.
You two guys, and George is the king, so you had to do that. Good job.
Thank you, Gord. All right. We got to get it back on the phone because we have the high school Sportscape show.
That's right.
So let me get that phone number for our good friend James Cook.
Yeah, no doubt. Going to start back here, going over all the latest.
Rich
in the
had two
upcoming-
games this week.
I did, yeah. 2-1, of course, a big rivalry game on Tuesday night against Traverse City Central. That was, can't wait to talk to James there from that packed gym that was there. That was awesome to see. But yeah, I loved that rivalry game because it had
The Alpena?
everything.
Oh, you're talking
Still the Central game, yeah. That it had everything to do. I mean, it had
Jerry Coyne.
It had
We got this
phone
the C-block system here on James Cook's telephone.
Love it.
I don't know what this
Love
is
it.
all about.
Right.
Hopefully he picks up.
But with that rivalry, Central and West, you have a transfer going from Central to West. You had technicals on each team.
Hey, hold on.
You had a fan getting kicked out of the game. You know, I mean, you just had everything.
Are you talking about Michigan State?
Yeah, I am not.
Because that was a Cook that got
yeah.
cooked out.
Okay.
James, are you related to Paul Cook, who got kicked out of the Michigan State game?
I am not. Paul Davis, you mean?
Paul Davis. I'm sorry, that's
yeah.
right, yeah.
I loved how disappointed too that Izzo was. He's looking at him. He goes like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Get out of here." You know, come on. I raised you better than that.
Yeah, he used a few other sentence enhancers. I
Right.
think in that you can read his lips pretty easily in that.
I didn't know. Evidently, they are selling alcohol at the Breslin. I haven't been in there.
I
in a while.
noticed that.
Yeah.
I did notice that with them. But James, what'd you think before we start going over tonight's games and tomorrow's, all that good stuff? But what'd you think of that Central and West game on Tuesday night?
Well, it was a pretty good game by West. Central coach Luke Johnson kind of said that they came out flat, and he thought it was one of their worst games of the year.
It was.
But I mean, West played a good game. They came out, they played good defense. I mean, that's what I think they really wanted to concentrate on.
Sure.
So I think that they did a pretty good job at limiting McLean. Rademacher still got his points. I think he ended up with 31.
Oh, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a quiet 31.
Sure, yeah, that is the quietest 31 I've ever heard of.
Yeah, well, he had a lot of free throws. I think West got called for, was it 2 techs?
I think there was one apiece.
There was at least one.
Yeah.
But he shot the free throws on those. He shot a bunch of other free throws because he was going to the hoop all day, and West was playing physical defense, and he was getting fouled, so he shot a lot of free throws.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than him, they didn't. Central didn't have a ton of offense in that game, and
Right.
West, Central didn't have an answer really. I think for Carter Grubb,
No question.
Central doesn't have a 6'6" guy to throw at him.
Right.
So that's one of the things that they just don't have this season.
Yeah,
is somebody big in the middle.
Grubb has played really well scored 27 that night, 25 last night against Alpena, 5 dunks in the game last night. I mean, this kid's really just he's owning the paint right now, and he's just not, and he's blocking shots too. He's really, his presence is being felt defensively.
His confidence level is sky high right now, and that was the thing, James, that I noticed with TC Central, and obviously they couldn't rectify it because they got beat up pretty good last night by Cadillac. Is they didn't play in the West game with any confidence.
Yeah.
The offense, I couldn't even tell what kind of offense they were running.
Yeah, I mean they want to shoot a lot of threes because they have a bunch of good guys from shooting from the perimeter. But West was stepping out on them. They were playing the 3-point line on defense on that a lot. Rademacher still got a few, but they were able to kind of stay out and close out on McLean, who's one of their other major scoring threats, who they were kind of able to limit a bit. And then outside of those guys, it's mostly most of the team is mostly kind of smaller guards.
Right. Yeah, and when you rely on sophomores, both of those, Rademacher and McLean, are sophomores, you're going to get some inconsistencies with that because they're still learning how to be the man,
Yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see how Central responds in the game coming up in February.
Yeah.
But going back to the game, were you at the Cadillac game last night, James?
I was not. No.
Okay. So what was that score, Rich?
It was let me see. It was by 6. I think it was that. Let me double check.
But Cadillac was coming off a bad beatdown from McBain.
Oh, they were
So Rich and I were talking.
5-point loss is what it was by Cadillac or by Central.
Central loss, and that was at Central, right? Or was it?
Yeah, that was at Central.
Yeah, that was at Central last night. Yeah.
So Cadillac has been way up and down, when Rich and I were talking about the schedule and everything else, I'm like, well, they're going to really face an angry team in TC Central, but Cadillac gets the win. So
Cadillac had lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Lost to West before Christmas. Right. Come back, lose to McBain 64-37. And then lose to Petoskey 75-53.
Woo!
And so there were 3 bad losses there. Not bad.
When's the last time Cadillac lost 3 games in a row?
Oh, it's
not since we've been doing our show.
Years. Yeah. It's got to be years.
Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and then the Central win was by 7. So last night.
Yeah.
Dominic Wing had a pretty good game. He's been having a pretty good season for Cadillac this year.
Another sophomore.
But Cadillac's pretty young, really.
Yeah.
Well, they're super young. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But to lose to McBain by 30 is – and Rich mentioned something that was kind of odd. When Central or when West went down there and played in Cadillac right before the holidays.
It was our first home game.
Nobody in the gym.
It was crazy, James.
Yeah, when I talked to Ed Carter after the game against Central, he was talking about how much better it was to have the student section there at the Central game, and how much of a difference it makes and how much they can hear it. And, and all that, and he said it just really fires them up. So I think the contrast was pretty evident from what he said.
Yeah, that was how there were no Cadillac people that showed up at their home gym.
Yeah.
It was a Tuesday night, and it was just shocking. Again, first home game of the season.
A really solid basketball program.
Yes,
that's just
and
crazy.
Nobody showed up for that. I mean, that was the fewest people I've seen at a Cadillac game ever. So,
which was a
beautiful. You sometimes get that in those December games just because the holidays and all that, but it happens every once in a while. But
you could tell.
Good thinking of the school at Cadillac.
Yeah. Well, like we said, it's a program steeped in tradition, very well run. That you're going to get a good quality game. Maybe they knew that they were going to lose to West. It was like, I don't know if you watched this. I know it's just a touch off topic, but Michigan played Penn State.
Yeah.
At Penn State, there was nobody in that gym.
That's just wild.
Well, it was, the students were still out of class.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely empty in the second bowl and at the ends of the floor. I by the way I could tell, there was maybe 2,000 people at the game.
Wow.
With the number 2 team in the country
right.
coming in to play at Penn State.
That is shocking. Yeah. But speaking of that McBain team, they've lost once so far, and that was an 8-point loss to Beale City. And again, Beale City, not only do they play good football there, but they got a heck of a basketball team this year as well.
Yeah, true. And McBain's got one of the better players in the area too, in Clayton Hooker. I mean, he's been a guy who's had a couple of solid seasons now, and is another one of those force inside guys, kind of like Carter Grubb.
Yes.
So they've got that going for them, which at a D3 school is a pretty big factor.
Yeah, he's a former National Guard Player of the Week, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't play. They played last night against McBain Northern Christian. Of course, just across the street there, basically, in McBain. They won 56-26. So McBain, in their last 2 games, they've given up 27 and 26. So that kind of defensive effort, that'll get you a lot of wins.
Yeah, it will.
And the coach there, he really stresses defense.
He does.
If you don't play defense, you're not going to play.
Yeah, Bruce Coltman.
It doesn't matter how well you can shoot. If you're not going to play defense, you're going to sit.
Yeah, Bruce has won a state championship back in the early 2000s, been there a long time, and he knows what he's doing, and he gets the most out of his players there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Speaking of Hooker, I got a question for you, James. When's the last time you saw somebody shoot a hook shot in a high school basketball game?
Like a straight up Kareem hook shot.
Yes, a real hook shot. I
don't know whether I've seen anyone do like one of those.
Yeah, ever?
I've seen kind of like some mini hooks here and there.
Right,
kinda, where guys spinning in the lane kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. But actually a planned hook shot where they put a little post move on, use their body to separate them and the defender. And I can't recall, James, this is the last time I saw one.
We were bemoaning the fact that kids do not know how to play at all with their back to the basket anymore.
Yeah, it's a lost art.
Yeah.
So. The Haberkamp kid at McBain was kind of one of the closer guys to that, and Pomondon when he was younger, but he's kind of expanded his game more where he can, move out and take shots from the perimeter too.
Even that huge kid at Marquette last year really didn't play with
the
his
big
back
redhead.
to his basket.
Yeah.
So, it's just...
Yeah.
I sound like the old man screaming from the front porch. So.
The weather is brought to you by Shanty Creek Resort. Winter fun awaits atop Shush Mountain. Season passes are available now. So check out all your options at shantycreek.com. It's always a beautiful day at Shanty Creek.
Happy Friday! It's WNIN meteorologist Haley Fischetti, and here's a look at today's forecast. Stepping outside to more of those soggy conditions for the rest of the day today, expecting to see drier skies move into the region, but colder air with northwest winds around 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting closer to 40 to 50 miles per hour, and drier skies will be around. Temperatures still staying in the 30s for a lot of us, even seeing some low 40s, but noticing more of a chill into tonight as lows drop into the 20s. For your Saturday, we start off with some snow showers starting to move into the region. This happens around lunchtime into the evening and then overnight hours. I'll have all the details over on 9 and 10 News.
Leading the lineup on the Detroit Sports Network, Up North Sports Radio. Follow Up North Sports Radio on Facebook and never miss a game on Up North Sports Radio. Are the Wings on tonight? Go to upnorthsportsradio.com and get all the Detroit game info. Up North Sports Radio is the home of the Detroit Sports Network.
Tune into the High School Scoreboard Show Saturday at 10 a.m. to hear the Saab Hot Matchup of the Week. Brought to you by Saab. Trust, drive, and expertise in Northern Michigan. 101.1 WGRY, Up North Sports Radio.
Touchdowns.
Yep.
I think we could all see there's a bigger role for him at some point in this offense. And other guys, we're going to wait to see. Miles Frazier got a smattering of snaps, and Hassanin is a guy I really want to see, but he got hurt right away.
The success and failure of this past draft class is yet to be determined. But I'm far from giving up on this group. I think there's a lot of promise there.
There is, but I think people want to focus on the negative. They want to look at the Broderick Martins, the Levi Onzariques, the Hendon Hookers of the world, and
question.
And then see that hey, you just threw money at a guy like Kirby Joseph, and now he's hurt, and don't know to what extent his career is going to look like moving forward.
Do you know how many rookies have more touchdown receptions than Isaac Tesla?
There's like one.
Yeah, one, and like you said, foresee a bigger role for him. I'm not. It's no point, and there's no victory laps here. It's just I'm not
doing any victory laps at all. I just when we come across as apologists for Brad Holmes, and I just think his body of work is pretty good.
Well,
and yeah, I think he acknowledges he's got to be better, and this past season is a failure because it didn't make it to the playoffs. It's absolutely a failure.
Their vetting system and what they do to filter down the pool of players that they'd actually consider taking is something that perhaps is the backbone of what built them to be a contending team in the first place. And so when we talk about, well, maybe you should bend a little or do this, do that, can you afford one roster spot for somebody that you don't think totally fits your philosophy? We're not sure that they haven't already done that. Have a couple guys on the team that don't fully fit their philosophical, beliefs on what kind of player they want. But nonetheless, let's get back to your phone calls. Dylan is next here on 97.1. Hi, Dylan.
Hi. So the one thing I want to say is I'm happy that Brad's not making a bunch of drastic decisions like the Colts GM did, where he traded their future when they were at the top of the world, and then all of a sudden it comes crashing down, and then they have no future to fall back on.
Yeah, the Colts were they're the first team to go from first place, or
are they 8-2 or 8-1?
Yeah, and
8-1, I believe.
Missed the playoffs, and they traded for Sauce Gardner and gave up the future, and
then Sauce got hurt.
Yep. Yeah, that's but sometimes you need to take a risk. They took a risk, and boy, it did not work out.
And it just didn't work out. And that's the one thing I'm happy Brad hasn't done. He hasn't made a drastic decision yet that's going to alter our future. He's building to sustain the success for multiple years.
I don't know if you're saying Jurassic decision or drastic decision, but I kind of like a Jurassic decision, if that's what you're saying. He's protecting. He doesn't want to do anything that he will feel was irresponsible in the future. But look, that philosophy's fine as long as you get to the mountaintop. If you never get to the mountaintop, it will always be second guessed and should be.
I agree with the caller. He doesn't make any Jurassic decisions.
Right. Did he say Jurassic?
He said Jurassic. It sounded Jurassic.
Yeah.
But anyways, point is, free agency and midseason trades he doesn't, but at the draft he does. He's actually very aggressive during the draft, whether it's the first round or third and fourth rounds. And so sometimes he swings for the fences, and sometimes he connects and it's a home run, and sometimes it's Javi Baez and it's way off the plate. Like the Manu pick, I really think is a complete miss. Like that guy should be the next guy up. That Taylor Decker's talking retirement, he should be ready to go, and he don't look like he's ready to go at all.
Well, we don't know because he missed the entire year because he was hurt. That's the problem.
And also because when he played, he wasn't that good, Gator. And I think, personally, my opinion, I think that's the competition they're talking about next year. He might not make the team.
He may not. But I mean, this is what I think is one of the big tragedies of the season. Aside, number one is you don't make the playoffs, but number two, to me, is you didn't get a chance to see these guys that you want to see develop. Giovanni Manu played 4 games in the 2 years he's been on the Detroit Lions. Corby Sorsdahl has played 17 games, and he was a draft pick in 2023. There's 3 seasons where he's only played in 17 games. Those are 2 offensive linemen I think they're looking at to see What can they be? And maybe they're just backups and you need backups, clearly. But this team needs starters right now, and they have to make a big move when it comes to I'm going to guess that Taylor Decker is going to retire. I hope he doesn't, because he's really good.
Well,
but if he does, that creates
they won't be caught off guard.
Well, they won't be caught off guard, no. And it's going to create an interesting hole for this team, because I would imagine they would want to. The obvious choice would slide Penei Sewell to the left tackle, but then you've got a right tackle problem. But right tackle is an easier position to fill than left tackle.
Let's go to Sean in Detroit. You're next. Hi, Sean.
Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning. I'm sorry, afternoon. Good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
It's still morning.
Yeah, I'm working. Forgive me, guys. Doug, whenever I hear you get riled up, man, I'm calling. I got panache.
You got panache?
No, all jokes aside, man, you guys are having a great debate. Me personally, man, I agree with some of the things that the previous caller was talking about. We all love that Brad has rebuilt this thing from the ground up, and he's been measured in a lot of his decisions. But I think what you guys and some of the fan base is trying to say, that when you get close, then you got to go all in. And so I think that's where we are. You know, we still got a window, I believe, but what are you going to do to assure our fans? And Sheila, as you tried to state in your press conference last night, that we're all in. All in looks like, okay, we don't care about a draft pick this particular year. Okay, we don't care about this amount of money. We just want to go grab this player that's going to take us over the top. And I think that that's where we are getting frustrated, because none of us have seen or felt like he's even close to that.
You know, Sean, at the beginning of the news conference, I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show when we played him taking accountability. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, when he talked about all the things that he wants to do differently, well, he didn't say all the things, but they were going to take a long, hard look at everything from top to bottom, and they may need to do some things differently. I don't know that you interpret that as saying it without coming out and saying it, but it made me wonder. And I also thought Dan Campbell, when he met with the media the week prior, said so, or I guess it was Monday. It was Monday. It wasn't the week prior. It was Monday. Said some similar things. I think he left some breadcrumbs that they're going to take a long, hard look at maybe being a little bit more aggressive and not so protective of future draft capital.
Yeah, I think that we all would love to see that. You know, thank you guys again for taking my call.
Oh, no,
Doug,
my pleasure.
Doug, you're the nicest guy on the air, man. When I hear you get mad, I'm calling. Thank you, guys.
I didn't get mad. I just thought that guy took a cheap shot.
Doug's got to get checked.
And you know, maybe not a cheap shot, but I think he was being wildly unfair. So whatever. Rico and Romulus. Hi, Rico.
Hello.
Hey.
I will say this, and I know y'all really. Let me turn my radio down.
Always a good idea.
I have been. I'm like almost 70 years old, and in my entire lifetime, the Lions ain't been worth 2 cents. So whatever Brad Holmes has done, okay, he made a couple of boo-boos here and there, whatever. Didn't do what people wanted him to do. But let's say this. He has taken this football team from 0-16 or 17 to 15-2, 9-3, 9-8, whatever. All I'm saying is this. Give the man a chance and let's see. This season is a wash. Let's see what happens with next season, and I'm going to hang up and listen to your call.
Well, I mean, Rico, I just think it's he's done such a good job to get them where they were, and it's like any aspect of life that any of us have. If you're doing something that's working, you stick with it, you stick with it, you stick with it, and then when something changes, and this year it was the result, it was 9-8 and missing the playoffs. I didn't hear a stubborn Brad Holmes yesterday. That's one of the biggest takeaways from that whole thing. He did not sound stubborn. He sounded to me to be moderately humbled. Now, Gator, you didn't hear it the same way, but I didn't think that was a stubborn GM speaking, and that he was clearly going to stick with what he was doing.
I don't think he's stubborn. I do think that he played a little bit of both sides. At times he would say one thing, and at times he'd say the opposite. But it's okay because it's a press conference and it doesn't really matter. He's got my support. I think he's done a really nice job as GM of this team. But you know, the 3 years prior to taking over, the Lions went 6-10, 3-12-1, and 5-11. This was a franchise that was done, and then Stafford comes up and says, "I want out," and they got to move him. And think of the growth that's happened since then, right? That first year, it took a while before they won the first game. They went 3-13-1, but it looked like they were building towards something. Then they go 9-8, 12-5, 15-2, and along the way, win the first 2 playoff games in 30 years.
248-539-9797. There's a lot that's been accomplished, and there's more work to be done.
It just seems like a lot of people are like, well, what has he done lately? I got it. Okay, they need to improve off of last year, but I give them the chance to improve off of last year because they got to get back to the playoffs. And if they don't, if this becomes a regular occurrence, then he's going to be out of a job.
All right, so there was other news yesterday. The Skubal arbitration offer and ask. These are records on all kinds of sides and things that are unprecedented. We'll get to that today at 12:05 here on Carson Anderson on 97.1.